I'm Peter, a poor student. It was so tough for me to get a job as a deliverer at an unsettled pizza store near my home. I'm not very interested in the fact that I'm going to work here permanently, but right now it's the best job I can find. One day, when I was on my shift as usual, an answer on behalf of the store owner. It was around 9 p.m. and it was just an hour before the shop was closed. A new order sound from the store's iPad rang. Damn it! Who the hell is ordering pizza now? But after that, I went ahead and opened the order to see. There was a customer ordering a large, thick pizza. The address was about 5 kilometers from my store. I immediately confirmed the order and read the note inside the app that after delivering to the place, please put pizza in front of the door and receive money in the slot. Although it was a bit confusing to understand, I quickly took the pizza and proceeded to deliver it in time. I was running through the busy traffic of the street at night looking for the right address in the hope of finishing my work as soon as possible. Until I found the address of the building. It was a dormitory area with no main doors but only an iron staircase built on the side of the building connected to the upper floors. I carefully locked the car parking at the bottom of the stairs and carried the food up. I searched for the right address, went to apartment 08. I knocked on the door for a while but no one answered. I started to doubt whether this was really a ridiculous joke of someone. At that time, I imagined that I would punch the guest on the face because of his trick. Fortunately, my patience has paid off. The door opened slowly, but no one came out. Money was neatly arranged in the door slot. At this moment, I just remembered the note inside the app. I quickly picked up the money, carefully counted it, then put the pizza box with a charge in front of the door for the eccentric guest and wished them good appetite. After that, I went downstairs and started the car to drive away. As soon as I got back to the store to return my car in uniform, I received an evaluation message from the system. The eccentric guest rated my delivery at 5 stars. In addition, there was no other compliment. Day by day I kept getting the same call from the same number all the time. The address not changed and even the way of the deliveries the same as the first. At first I seemed uncomfortable because of the cold attitude of the customer that he always left the money at the door, not even looking at me and greeting me just only one time, but gradually I felt familiar. For 4 days in a row I delivered this phone number and address, until the 5th time as usual I rushed over and did my duty. But looking up from the bottom, I was quite surprised that standing in front of the door was a large group of people talking quite loudly. I didn't think it's my client's house. but unexpectedly everything I didn't want to happen always happened to me. An intense stench came from the house the customer had ordered from. It was like the smell of a dead rat's body, mixed with the smell of stinking food. When I looked inside, I saw in the middle of the house the body of an old big man lying with the face down on the floor. Police quickly appeared and conducted a scene examination. They carried the body of this man on a gurney. It was swelled up, its stench unbearable, because the body was filled with muckworms inside. However, it was so weird that the two arms of the man were absolutely severed. The police began to rummage the house to see if there was anything abnormal inside. Another policeman examined the pocket of the man and took out an old cell phone. They searched the diary and called the nearest phone number. Unknowingly, the store phone in my pocket rang loudly. I looked at the people with bewildered eyes and met the suspicious eyes of the neighbors and the police. I didn't even remember what I said at that time, because in my mind it was too stressful, especially when I was listed as a suspect of a murder case and the body was the one who ordered food at my store. When the police announced the autopsy results, the man had died 5 days ago. It was also the first day I received a delivery order to this evil address. There was a lot of absurdity between myself and the police. How can a dead person order a pizza? However, because there was no evidence to accuse me of murder, I was soon released by the police during the period of investigation. I was not allowed to go anywhere from my locality during this time. Fortunately, people in the store trusted me, so no one took me as a real killer. Until one day I received a letter from the police. They sent me an apology for misunderstanding me and wasting my time, as well as thanking me for cooperating with them to investigate the case. According to the first results, the man died of a heart attack. In the house, police also find a few of his medical records and a few bottles of heart attack medicine. But strangely, in his phone at that time, there was no number or contact information for relatives or anyone else. Police immediately proceeded to take testimony of neighbors living around the house. They said that the old man was an eccentric man. He lived alone in the moldy apartment and often locked himself in the house, not talking to anyone, and no one had ever seen his descendants visit him once. Occasionally, they also heard several voices coming from inside his home. I thought in my mind, maybe this man had multiple personalities, because I have heard people with this disease often have a bit of talking to their ego. The more I thought about it, the more I felt scared, especially when I thought of the person who ordered my pizza and asked me to deliver it to the house of a dead body. A few days later, I heard shocking news. After searching the man's apartment, the police discovered some strange small footprints appear inside, leading to the kitchen. Police also found a way leading into a perfectly covered small basement. In the basement, there was a big lack of light. The basement was also extremely humid and stinky. In the room, police found roughly a 13-year-old girl. She was discovered in a state of panic, severe traumatic trauma and frail physical condition due to long-term hunger. More terrifyingly, the police found many black bones in a corner of the basement. A shocking truth had been uncovered, that the man was a biological father. Since his wife left home, he had raised their daughter alone. This man did not allow her to leave the house. He said it was dangerous outside, strangers would harm her, and that only he loved her the most in the world. She was always locked inside that cellar. He only fed her, completely isolated her from the civilized world. Abusively, he sexually abused her. Each time she resisted or did something making him vexed, he immediately locked the girl into the basement. Until the day he had a heart attack and died. She opened up the cellar herself and went out. As soon as she came to the living room, she saw him lying there, so naive that she thought he was just sleeping. However, many days passed and he just laid there without talking or feeding her anymore. There are many scary things that I cannot explain. That after he died, the phone continued to order my store's pizza and also rated 5 stars as before. I thought it might have been because of the girl. Later on, because the phone ran out of battery, she couldn't order pizza anymore and ate the man. It's even more insane when I think it might be because the man's soul died suddenly, and he might think that he was alive and his soul was still doing the same job as when he was alive. But whatever the truth is, it was the most intimidating story I've ever seen in my delivery profession.